I just looked up the name of the YouTube channel that we are going to be watching, and it is Oh for Satan's Sake. And actually feels fitting for what we're watching. Anne of Green Gables is a story I've loved my whole life. My middle name's Anne, so I felt kinship to this little redhead because her name was Anne and she had red hair. I felt kinship to a lot of redheads with the name Anne, and a lot of their stories were orphan stories. The story of Anne of Green Gables is a story of a white, red-headed orphan who was adopted by a family, or a sibling, actually, sibling group, a brother and sister, and their love for her and their growing together in a time when an orphan had next to no chance of getting an actual family. Because if you lost your blood relations, no one, including your blood relations, are probably treating you like your parents would in colonized culture, in what was in I'm going to say P&E. That's our exhibition grounds here. Prince Edward Island, PEI. There we go. The PEI at that time period. All of Canada, all of North America during that time period. Canada, the church and the state, the RCMP specifically, stole children, all the children from all the First Nations across Canada, and forced them into residential schools to kill the Indian, to kill who they were. And I think Anne, the newer story, Kukwat's, I'm sorry if I pronounced her name wrong, is her story isn't in the original Anne of Green Gables, but it is a very powerful part of this TV series because you get to see their friendship and how she lives and the residential school. And this is the impact on the first generation. For her to go deal with that, come back and raise kids and have them be stolen at 5. We're going to watch Anne and Gilbert and the adults misunderstand and think education is a good thing. And for Anne, it is her safe space. She loves school, loves teachers, loves reading. And so she tells her friend to go. Let's watch. Thank you to the website who put this together, not my compilation. It's got music in the background. And quite frankly, I will be in tears if I watch it with you. So I've already watched it. I'm going to walk away while this is on.
When your eyes seek and your heart is open, that is true brave.
My name is for the sea star.
Starfish? You must be very resilient.
It's funny how people are so quick to point out differences when there's so many ways we're all alike. What's your word for family?
Many things the same. So we say, Ula na Nikuma. This is who I am connected to because we are so alike. My mother, small brother, and sister.
The government has generously opened a new residential school in Halifax.
Residential? A boarding school?
Specifically designed to address the matter of savages living in our midst.
There's a boarding school in Halifax. They would teach you to read and write English and all sorts of things.
Inama Diowan, Edecto Ajigan.
Really a nutmeg?
Kisalukaji, get me there to me to speak.
Smeki data mo, Selena.
Remontes aptus.
Namute Sabdara.
Nino na, get me data mo. Mas pawananaman munji. Get me del sumunki. Akundasu nadus.
Damaji Akdam Deli Elmi.
I've come to visit my young friend Kukwat.
I have no idea who that is. The children are given proper Christian names when they arrive. You see? It's not possible to visit at this time. The children are in choir practice.
Hannah! Get away from that window. No! Now!
Please let me leave with my friends. I want to go home, please. What about Susie? How did she dead?
Speak English. Your heathen tongue is good. Now, sing to the Lord.
Father Ben!
Are you behaving like a student?
Not stupid. You're stupid. You jealousy. What? I went to visit Kukwet a couple of weeks ago, but I wasn't allowed to see her. I hope she's doing well.
You know nothing. They said that we will see her in the summer.
Heave out the trash, then get back.
Yes, sister.
My lord, are you stupid, savage, and careless? Get the broom. Hannah, hurry up! Hannah! Oh. Hannah! Quiet! Clumsiness is carelessness.
Julia Glacier. This is for your own good. Stop behaving like a stupid idiot. It's all your fault. You wanted me to go to that school. They told me I'm worthless. Stupid.
Welcome. I'm here to collect Hannah.
Kedua penjelasan.
Lots of kids here. Save the best. So grab one. Come.
What happened?
They took Kukwet. Stole her. We must find her. Can you help us?
It is dangerous, and I forbid it.
Kaya po na mawala. Isip na agad tayo sa school. Dami Agnesia. Bakit save me, Agnesia, sa school? They'll kiss me magic to wow and dudes. Thank you.
We have to get her back. We have to.
There was a mistake. You see, her parents, they don't want her here. So we've come to take Kukwet home.
That will not be possible, sir.
What is going on here? This is a school, not a prison.
Hannah is perfectly fine.
Hand over their child. That little savage is right where she needs to be.
Kukwet! Kukwet! Kukwet!
The government has decreed it's best for your kind to assimilate. Schools like ours will ensure that transition. God willing, we will kill the Indian, but save the child. If you care about the welfare of your child, you'll do as I say.
Wait! I want a boy! Wait! Wait!
You ain't worried that I'm muchacho. No esperanzas. I'm muchacho. Me solo dulces.
Dan, desde que se was loud. Quando as passas em conti, já não vejo isso cá.
Would you like sick?
Today we're going to be starting.
All right. I lied. I watched the whole thing. Watching Anne with an E, the story, and watching the white adults and the other kids, aside from Anne, be racist because they don't know, and the way that they speak about Coquette and her family, and that moment where her mom says, "You have your child. I don't have mine." And the thing is, Marilla's known Anne for 3 years, and she's not quite a functionite. Marilla has some issues. Kill the Indian to save the child. That was the plan. White, colonized, Christian, mounted police, right? Created the Indian. It was only ever a figment of their imagination. And they killed all the children, especially their own, my ancestors. You can't see children, treat children like that, and not destroy everything you have in society. When affluent society, affluent white society, the epitome of progress and riches is to have your children and pass them off to someone else to raise them, paid or enslaved. Then when they reach school age, send them to boarding school, a good, kind boarding school, more kind, but they're still going to look forward to coming home to you because the boarding school is strict. You then steal children who, quite frankly, live in utopia, as close to utopia as any of us would ever see. They have their needs met, they have their family, they have food, they have culture. We can see we're not doing well. How do kids treat each other at school? How do we treat each other? We're all traumatized children. And unfortunately, I mean, all of it's unfortunately, but those who survived residential school, because many did not, live shorter lives. They're dealing with a lot more addiction, a lot more health issues, and people who themselves haven't had to go to residential school because they only ended in 1996 have parents or grandparents who have, many of whom haven't shared their stories because they're so traumatic. And while dealing with their sisters being missing and them refusing to look at the landfill where they know 4 of them are. I suspect because they know a hell of a lot more than 4 are there. Those people who are hurting the most in society, who've had the most done to them, are hurting the most in society. and are keep having shit done to them because we keep projecting on them. We keep doing shit. We still think the most affluent thing we can do is hire a nanny, right? We still don't even seem to like our own children. And we sure as hell hate everyone who's not like us, right? If you can't sit with that, then you sure as hell can't heal it. And I don't think it was reciprocated. I don't think there was hatred for the people who land on the shores until there needed to be hatred for the people who landed on these shores. If we had learnt from them how to grow food, how to raise our children, we'd be living in a such much better world. But we can't undo the past. We can only decolonize from this point. And I would love to do a solution raising series on Indigenous issues in Canada specifically. It is what I have to offer, and it is what I want to offer. I know I personally in my life I got nothing else to offer life, right? And I know that those people who have nothing to give are the ones who give everything. And society knows that. And the people who've given everything, gave everything, then were forced to give more, and then forced to give more, and forced to give more, and lied to. I would like a person who's part of the Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh, or Musqueam Nations, which is what Vancouver is on. Not just anyone who's part of it, right? To have a conversation and see if we're a match to set up a solution raising series. A solution raising series will include many people who identify as whatever group we're having the series on, in this case, Indigenous women, and then talking about what issues, if solved, would have the biggest impact on your life, right? Whether that's because you're, as an individual or as part of the Indigenous women's group, right? Like what would help you in your life, and solution raising those. I have a list in my head that are the top issues for Indigenous women in Canada, but I'm not living that life. I can only see it through other eyes, right? So anyway, brainstorm, then we do a solution raising on each of them, and then we can do a final wrap up. And so it'd be an hour each week. And I need one person to coordinate with before doing that. I am moving forward with all of my ideas, trying to find a single person who wants to coordinate. I don't really know what that looks like. Besides, I don't know what that looks like. Do you want to coordinate with me on a solution raising with and for Indigenous women? Because we should have been listening to those specific mothers all along. We have one mother. There's this really weird, like, narcissistic mothers are a huge thing, especially in the white community and the colonized community in general, because being traumatized and then you grow up and you hate yourself and you give birth to a mini-me, who are you going to take that out on, right? That people grow up and disown their families, go non-contact, and the amount of people who've disowned their families where they get that answer of, you only have one mother. Yeah, do you not understand that makes it worse? My mother did this to me. But the truth is, we all do only have one mother. She's Mother Earth. There is no one else. So we either look after her, we're in it together. And those who knew that, those who created their entire society around relationship with each other, relationship with the Creator, and relationship with the earth, and each and every part of the earth, the rocks, the trees, the river. It's all the wrong religions that are evangelical. That part in that, she said, don't speak with that savage tongue and praise the Lord. The fact God didn't smite you down in that moment, on all the moments I realized that was a manufactured moment on a TV show. But when that actually happened all over Canada, the fact lightning didn't come and strike you down in that residential school, in that church, proves your Christian God is bullshit. And the one that was here before will remain long after. And now I'm feeling a little bad because the person who I did this for is also Christian. You can be a Christian and follow the one true God, but you can enforce the one true God on everyone and say you're following the one true God. If you need to shove your God onto everyone and down everyone's throat, it's not your God. If your God isn't loving and enticing and can't bring people on board, can't prove themselves to them, not much of a God I want to hang out with. But one of my family members went through residential school, and the intergenerational trauma, but also, sorry, I was going to say something and I forgot what I was saying there, that she is my one family member who is Christian, who I both don't get how you can be Christian and get that I don't get how you can be Christian, and that it's like it's deeper for you. Like I don't know how else to say it, right? Deeper than, oh, well, your parents were it and you were it and you never questioned it and you just fell into white supremacy and enforced it on everyone else, right? Which is my experience of my childhood and other Christians in my family, of my immediate family. Anyway, happy birthday, Auntie. And I'm sorry, I didn't know you better. And the fact you were the first to pass on after your difficult life and your beautiful life, and the people you leave behind who love and adore you, and the impact you had. And I think of all the children who never got to grow up, and those that did, that we don't see as children, and we throw them in prison and we steal their children with birth alerts. There is so much harm still being done to the people who we should be bending over backwards to be making life better for, not worse for. But unfortunately, we're all still those children in school, bullying, fighting. We're all still traumatized children. Killing the Indian that the colonizer created killed all the colonizer's children. And until we realize that, how do we resurrect our own? How do we heal our children, our inner ones, the next generation? It's by caring for 7 generations and not our sociopathic ancestors who were only here for their selfish needs. Their selfish need to give their DNA to us. Guess what I'm going to do with it? Dismantle colonization. You're welcome.